in the balmy hush of a Jackson morning, where the Pearl River's gentle murmur mingled with the faint sea-o of new life stirring in a sunlit nursery, Tambra Cherie stood at the threshold of her blush-toned boutique hotel suite, a sanctuary of silk linens and lavender diffusers that masked the undercurrent of unease rippling through her newly minted motherhood. At 41, Tambra, the boutique baroness whose empire of opulent escapes from Pearl Street to Baton Rouge had ballooned into a beacon of black southern splendor, cradled her 6-month-old daughter, London Simone, like a fragile heirloom, her locks loosely knotted in a crown of cautious curls. Eyes shadowed not by exhaustion alone but by the spectral weight of choices yet unmade, the air hummed with the soft whir of a white noise machine, its ocean waves a futile facsimile for the tidal pull of trust Tambra felt ebbing away, her phone buzzing like a persistent phantom with texts from the bells, Latrice's emoji-laden entreaties, "Sis, spill the daycare deets, London's glow-up needs anti-audits. Thy Pilcrow Aodiaresis." Marie's measured missives, "Boundaries are blueprints, Tambra let's blueprint this together." My clinic's got vetted lists, and Akish's insistent inquiries, "Chilly, you can cocoon forever." Group chats glowing without you bring the baby blues. London's tiny fist clutched Tambra's thumb, a grip both grounding and gut-wrenching, as flashbacks flickered like faulty film reels. The sterile sting of her 39 fibroids excision 2 years prior, a surgical symphony that silenced skeptics and synced her with fiancé tilde copyright Leon's steadfast support. The IVF odyssey etched in embryo freezes and faith-fueled fasts, her journal's jagged script confessing motherhood's my manifesto, a miracle or myth? Amid the Belle brunch-side ballots on baby names. Now, with London's lashes fluttering like butterfly wings against the dawn, Tambra paced the Persian rug, her silk robe whispering warnings of the world beyond these walls to the Jackson juggernaut of her radio reign at WRBJ, boardroom battles for boutique expansions, and the Belle Collective's vortex of veiled vendettas that had her vetoing visitations like a velvet veto. "Not yet," she had murmured to Leon the night before, his broad hand on her belly a balm as they debated daycare dossiers over dim sum, elite enclaves like the Primrose School's pearl-clutching protocols or community cradles with cultural cadences, each optional Ouija board of what illness incubators, and attentive aides, the insidious ache of absence during afternoon auditions. Tambra's reputation wasn't abstract, it was ancestral, woven from whispers of her own mother's maternity margins, the fibroid-fueled fears that felled friends' futures, and the postpartum plunge that had landed her in a close indifferent embrace, a haze of hormones and hushed horrors where London's first cry echoed like an indictment. The Belle bond, once her buoy through fertility's fog, now felt like a brambly Latrice's loyalty laced with limelight leaks, Akish's audacity affront to her autonomy, Laetia's luminous lessons a lighthouse too far when London's every latch and lullaby demanded her dockside. Yet solitude's siren sang seductive, Tambra envisioning a village vetted on her velocity, nannies networked through Marie's medical maze, playdates plotted with Selena's steadfast sensibility, Carrie's coastal kin curating a cadre of caregivers. As the sun climbed, gilding the nursery's gold leaf letters spelling London's legacy, Tambra exhaled into a FaceTime frame with Leon, his voice a velvet anchor. "Baby, blues are blueprints, a daycare is a detour to our dynasty, not derailment." Her nod was nascent, nerves knotted but not knuckled under, the decision dangling like a diamond in deferral. Social spheres swirled in silent surveillance. Tambra takes time trending with threads of new mom armor, cocoon till confident. Thy superscript a thy pilcrow, fans flooding her feeds with fist emojis and protect that peace. Queen of London's launchpad is you. In that suspended sunrise, Tambra whispered to her wide-eyed wonder, "Daycare's a door." Nodded Dungeona Mama's mapping the march, one milestone at a time. This was her interlude, raw and resolute, the forge where fear forged fortitude, turning nursery nerves into a narrative of nurtured navigation, where the Belle's boldest bloom waited not in the collective's clamor, but in the quiet cradle of choices unchained. The afternoon's amber light filtered through the suite's sheer curtains like hesitant hope, casting elongated shadows across the playpen's pastel palette as Tambra convened a clandestine council via Zoom, a digital roundtable of reluctant revelations where the Belle faces framed her fragility, Pixels pulsing with the push-pull of protectiveness and persistence. Litteris, her lemon-lacquered loft a backdrop of luxury listings, leaned in with lordly levity. Tambra, we ain't auditors so we're aunties and waiting. Spill the daycare dilemma, sis. My listings got locks, but London's got our love locked too. Marie, mid-manicure in her clinic's crisp calm, cross-referenced credentials like case files, vetted venues, Tambra pediatric protocols, parent portals for peaks. My ledger lists low ratios, high resonance. Postpartum's fandom, we prescribe presence, not perfection. Akisha, ever the audacious arrow, arched a brow from her auburn-accented abode. Cocoon's cozy, but collectives your catapulted daycare doubts. Delegate to us. London's legacy needs the lattice we weave. Latia, luminous in lavender from her post-DM dawn, layered her litany. Sovereignty's my sermon. Tambra Glenn's glitches grounded Muirguard's gospel, but gaps glisten with grace. Daycare's a bridge, not a break. Build it with us. Selena, swirling a spawn-fused steamer in her sunroom serenity, spotlighted solidarity. Mike's men's taught me margins. Motera London's lullabies linger in your lap, but launches lean on the lane we light. Carrie, coastal cool in coral cashmere, Gerbla clamor. Gulf gales groomed my greet to daycare's delta. Tambra dip deliberate, but don't drown in deferral. The screen swelled with shared scars. Tambra's tears tracing the touchpad as she unpacked the echo interlude, the isolation that iced her instincts, the fibroid-fueled fears that framed every fever check has fate's fiat. It's not just naps and nushes, she confessed, voice velvet over vulnerability. It's the void visions of villains in the van pool. Vibes vanishing in the vestibule. Motherhood's my miracle, but mercy's the margin I crave. Leon's cameo cascaded comfort, his off-frame offing. Babe, blues are the Baslinia daycare's duet. Not dirge. We draft the dossier together. The bell bomb bloomed bipartisan, a virtual vision board volleyed via shared screens. Daycare dossiers dissected like Delta primroses. Pristine playpens versus community co-ops with cultural cadences. Pros and pitfalls plotted in the pastel post-its. Laughter laced the lament as bloopers bubbled. Latrice's luxury listing link lagging mid-lesson. Her quip real estate rule. No glitch in the greed. London's got prime property in our hearts. Eliciting emoji eruptions. Yet undercurrents undulated uneasy. Akisha's aside auditioning audacity. Collective cocoon, or control freak? A sparked ember tempered with tender truth. Trusts the toll booth. Sister's a toll paid when tensions thaw. As the call crested, commitments crystallized. Marie's medical matchmaking for a Belle babysitter brigade. Selena's spa-side strategy sessions. Carrie's coastal connections curating a cadre. Social media's sidebar simmered supportive via Instagram interludes igniting #Tambra Trust Tango with 120 case stories. Reels remixing Latia's ledger lore. From DM daggers to daycare Dwansa sister sync. Theo, petitions pulsing for a Belle baby blueprint bonus. New mom navigation. OWN it. OWN's off-air oracle. Carlos King's confessional clip. Crystallize the catharsis. Tambra's trepidation. Textbook triumph. Nerves nurture the narrative. In the hush of hang-up, Tambra turned to London's drowsy delight. Her decision dawning like dusk's reluctant light. A hybrid haven. Half home with a vetted vanguard. The Belle Bridge a buttress against the blues. This was her evolution, etched in ether and empathy. The pivot where parental paranoia polished to poised prevision. Turning nursery nerves into a nexus of nurtured networks. So where London's legacy launched not in isolation's ivory tower, but in the collective's carefully calibrated cradle, one confided contour at a time.